Hey, everybody, Kevin Harnett with you. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Lots going on around the area, and folks looking at the weather like what is going to happen. We've got wind chill advisories in place. Looking down the road, we could have a little snow, and certainly these bitterly cold temperatures are going to cause a few problems. We already anticipate that. We've got a lot to talk about over the course of the next few minutes here. We'll let everybody get settled in. I know a lot of folks watching, whether you're on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, our digital streams. We've got you covered on the Wave Weather app, our 24/7 streaming weather channel, Wave Weather Now. We're proud of that, and we in Alert Days have a lot of information for you. So we got a lot of folks jumping in. There's Andre saying hello to you. Folks coming in from Carrollton. We see Dave and Jean Finney there. Thank you. Always longtime viewers of Wave. We appreciate everybody watching. Karen's here from the South End. Lots of hot tea today. Hot tea, whether you're sick or just sick and tired of the cold before it even gets here. I hear you. Let me punch up. There we go. And we've got this tower cam up from Paristown, looking down, of course, so we can see the streets. We like that in case we start to get some snow. We've got an Arctic cold front that's on the move. So we're going to go through a lot of your comments here over the next maybe 30, 45 minutes, however long we stay on. We're just at 8 o'clock. Nancy's already asking the question that everybody's going to ask. Do we have an accumulating snow in the forecast anytime soon? I'm going to give you my latest thoughts on that. I've even made much to sort of not wanting to, but I went ahead and made a snow map. And I say not wanting to because we're pretty far out and there's still some uncertainty on this, but I'm going to give you my latest thinking on what I think the snow accumulation will be for our viewing area. So I do have a map made on that. We'll walk you through that. David Leonard, good evening to you, Mr. Leonard. I'm glad to see your name pop in here. Bryce is on the line from down in Hardin County. Always a great resource for us. And Bryce, we always appreciate your help there. Fern Creek checking in. Love Trey checking in from the south side of town there. We have a lot of folks just saying, hey, what about the heat? We're going to have to keep it on for the next few days. No question. There's Kevin Anderson. How are you, buddy? Right back at you. We've got a number of folks just chiming in. I'm just putting your names on here while folks are getting settled in, and then we're going to jump into the nitty-gritty of what's coming our way. I should put these tips up first while I'm just chatting. This is some cold weather tips for you. You want to make sure the garage doors, this goes without saying. I mean, in today's time and age, you got to keep all the doors shut anyway, but for a different reason. Tonight, it's because of the cold. Open the bathroom and kitchen cabinet doors, especially if your pipes are on an outer wall and if you live in an older home that doesn't have the best insulation. Yeah, that's going to allow the warm air of the house to circulate around those pipes. Let the water faucets drip, or at least a drip, and if you can, a real thin stream, pencil thin. That's going to help some of these water faucets as well. You have to do this for a couple of days now because the worst of the problems that come with cold weather is when we're in a cold stretch of days. And we're certainly going to be in that through the well, probably the next week. So you're going to see that when I show you the 10-day. And then, of course, you got to make sure the pets are taken care of. Anytime it's this cold, pets need our attention. All right, Brenda's over in Sellersburg. I'm glad to see somebody jump in from the sunny side. And Angie over in Lanesville. Good evening to you. We've got a lot of folks from both sides of the river and as far south as Campbellsville and off to the east in Owenton. We see you over there, Tammy Jo. So thanks for hopping on. Grayson County coming in, too. So we've got folks from everywhere. All right, let's get to it. Here's the way this will roll. I'm going to share the maps with you, obviously. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on each of our alert days, and we've got a string of them. The first is because of the Arctic front that's moving in tonight. This is going to prompt, gusty winds along with the extreme cold. Combine that together, you get bitterly cold wind chills. So we already have the wind chill advisory in place. We're going to talk about that and the little brief burst of snow that's going to be possible with that tonight. And then we'll get into the Sunday through Tuesday time frame, and I'll just clump all that together because it's cold and possibly some snow. And we'll roll through with the waves that move through that, and I'll give you the latest thinking on how much snow I think will move in. Let's start with what's happening now. It's 27 degrees in Louisville. You don't have to look too far to the north and west to see below zero temperatures. Northern parts of Missouri, all of Iowa coming in below zero. Chicago is down to 9 degrees right now. So we do have some very cold temperatures that continue to push through all across the Ohio Valley. And that's only going to get worse as the night goes on. And you'll notice that the wind chill, when we look at wind chills from across the area, let me show you this first. Our 24-hour temperature change is coming in at 23 degrees. So we're 23 degrees colder than we were at this time yesterday. Now, look at the wind chills. We're 19. That's what it currently feels like in Louisville. But it's 28 below zero, southern parts of Iowa. It's 8 below in Chicago. It's 4 below in St. Louis. So we do have bitterly cold air funneling in with some wind. That means the potential is there for some bitterly cold wind chills. It's the Arctic front, and yes, there is a little bit of snow behind it. A little bit. There's not a lot of moisture to work with at all anyway with this system. After we exhausted what we had yesterday with a lot of rain and some snow last night into this morning, we just don't have a ton of moisture. However, when you're dealing with Arctic air, you don't have to have a ton of moisture. The ratios are much higher, which simply means a little bit of precip goes a long way and can give us some snow that can cause some slick spots. So in addition to the cold Arctic air and the wind chills, it's this batch of snow we'll be watching. It should expand a little more across the area as it moves through later on this evening. So it's approaching Indianapolis. It's approaching Carbondale. It's past St. Louis. Once that front makes its way past, the snow, of course, will be breezing through here as well. Temperatures then will plummet. The winds could be a problem. You can see we have a cloudy sky building in, the light snow southwest Indiana. As far as the future cast is concerned, we bring this light snow through here this evening and into the early overnight hours, and then we're going to fade it out. And by early tomorrow morning, we may even start to see a few breaks in the clouds. However, it's going to be bitterly cold. If you're headed out to church services or anywhere else tomorrow morning, expect it to be cold. Any snow accumulation tonight into tomorrow is minor, less than an inch. Okay, so this isn't a big snowmaker tonight. This is something similar to what we saw last night. It pushes in, gives us some slick spots because it's certainly cold, and it's only going to get colder tonight as lows go into the single digits. We have the wind chill advisory along and north of the river. Areas to our south still going to be cold. It's just that the wind chills are going to be much colder to our north. And when we look at those wind chills, places like Seymour could go 15 to 20 below zero by early tomorrow morning. As you get closer to Louisville, I think we could get 10, 12 below zero by early tomorrow. So the bitterly cold air really is problematic for us. This is just an example of one of the computer models. This is our forecast for Louisville, 5 degrees. So that's our morning low for Sunday morning. And that wind chill, 10 to 15 below zero. You can see it's colder to the north and still very cold, but not as cold to our south. That's what we're looking at for tonight into early tomorrow. All right, and then we get into looking at the next few days. So the next 3 days, a lot of folks asking, well, are we going to see that accumulating snow? How much snow are we going to get? Let me just show you what the models say. We look at a lot of models. The two on the bottom are the long-range models. If you remember a week ago, they were pumping in here, like a foot of snow. Obviously, they've backed off. The shorter-term models, the NAM, the GRAF, and the HER, the high-resolution model, still show some snow, still having trouble from run to run determining exactly the placement of this. And again, models have trouble with cold Arctic air. We can really overachieve in the Arctic air. So I'm going to roll you through our latest thinking. Let's start again by showing you just another way to look at some of the computer models as we go through time. So Saturday through Tuesday on the bottom, and then as you go up in that scale, that's the amounts. Some of the models want to go nuts. I don't think we're going to go nuts here with snow, but I do think we have a chance to see some measurable snow. Let's talk about what we know and what we're confident in. Certainly confident in the bitter cold, the wind chills below zero. That's a given. We're going to see that tonight. That will continue through the middle part of the week. We are going to have some light snow showers at times. That's pretty much a given too. Now, the question is the amounts and the impact. Now, you have to take into account, you have the cold Arctic air in place. There's going to be some impact because the snow's not going anywhere. It's not going to melt. Even a ½ inch of snow could cause problems. Saw problems last night with less than that in some places. We'll likely see that again tonight. So let me walk you through what we're looking at. This is Monday midnight, so Sunday night into Monday. Snow showers spread across the area, especially to our south. And that's going to be the important part of this. You can see that the darker colors you get, that's the more intense snowfall that's falling. That continues for a longer period of time to our south and southeast. That said, snow from Sunday night into Monday, throughout Monday and into early Tuesday will be with parts of our viewing area through that time. That said, we can build an accumulation. This is the first guess for the snowfall around the area. I'll just put it on the screen, full screen, so you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. Oops. There it is. I meant to take the name off. You'll notice I have Louisville, northern part, right along the Ohio River, less than an inch, close or an inch or less. And then we get that 1 to 2 inches to our south. And I do think the higher totals are further to the south across parts of southern Kentucky. That's just what it looks like at this point. So when we look at the forecast that we have made today, an early guess. We'll be fine-tuning this as more data comes in this evening. We're just now getting in that 84-hour window out of where we're starting to get decent data. The weather balloons are in the system. The system's starting to form. We had to get yesterday's system past us before we could really start to sample the next one very good, and that's what's starting to happen. So we get past the snow, and now with a little snow on the ground, it's cold again. So it stays cold, but it gets back into the single digits with wind chills below zero by early Wednesday morning. So when you're looking at those temperatures and you're looking at the length of time we're going to spend below freezing, we're going to see some problems. If you see snow, if you see problems, we like to see it too. So you can always submit those images to us if it's safe to do so on the Wave Weather app. Let me show you the 10-day forecast, and I'll just keep it up here. You can see the alert days because of snow and cold through the middle part of the week. And then we have another chance for some snow, it looks like, on Friday that'll take us into Saturday. It's a cold forecast until we get into the following week. So that's what we're looking at. That's my latest thinking. If you were on earlier today with Brian, you saw our temperatures haven't changed much. We're starting to fine tune the snow, trying to put amounts on it. It's never easy to do days in advance. Sometimes tough to do hours in advance, but you get the idea. All right, let's jump to some of your questions. We've been on for about 13 minutes now. and we'll take some questions here. So let's jump in. While we're doing that, I'll just pop some up that I see. There's Kenneth saying thanks from Paoli. Appreciate Kenneth and your wife watching there. Sorry, I'm scrolling down. I'm trying to find the comments. So many hellos. I don't have time to put everybody's hellos up there, but trust me, we're glad you're here. And we'll get to some of the questions here. And when I click, sometimes they pop on and sometimes they don't. There we go. Thank you for all you do. That was Mary. It wasn't the one I was going for, but with the lag in the computer, that's the one we got. There was one about ice. I was trying to address that one. It flew past me here. I apologize. So many folks jumping in. All right, let's, I think we're toward the end of the list here. And Michael's asking, why open cabinet doors? Well, that allows the warmer air from the house to get inside the cabinet, circulate around those pipes, so we don't have to deal with busted pipes, hopefully. It's really only needed if your pipes are on an outside wall, if the house isn't very insulated. That happened a lot in the older days, and if you're in an older home, that's a real problem. Annie, I know Annie from New Haven. And that's my hometown. So hello to Annie and the Rogers and the Mastersons, all of those families down there. Dave's asking a question, or at least mentioning right now in Jeffersonville, 25, feels like 15 with the winds out of the west at 10. There's that wind chill hard at work, and it's only going to get worse. Wait till that Arctic plunge. You'll feel that tonight as that cold front moves in. It will certainly push in the colder air, and even a 10-mile-per-hour wind like you're seeing in Jeff will be problematic. It will really bring in those cold wind chills. All right, let's see. Backup heat if the power goes out. Good if you've got it, bad if you don't. Sometimes, and this is where we always see house fires develop, because sometimes people that don't have backup heat wind up using those space heaters or whatever else. Sometimes you see the ovens come on. Don't do that. Not a good idea. All right. I'm clicking and it's like lagging. I think we've got so many folks jumping in. So apologies for the, here's a good one from Jessica. Is salt or brine effective in this weather? You know, once we get down below that really 20-degree mark, it starts to get iffy. The brine is only not effective if we wash it off. So we're good on that. We don't have to worry about any rain coming in, that's for sure. So brine and salt, they're going to put it down because that's the best we've got at this point. But it does become, both of those become ineffective during the extreme cold, especially when we drop to 10, down into the single digits. Yeah, it's not going to help a whole lot. Angela reporting 21 degrees in Radcliffe, 26 from Jason in Cloverport. So we've got some cold temperatures already showing up on the maps around us. And then, of course, Susan has to rub it in, saying that we can keep the cold weather here when it's like it is in Florida. It's nice. All right, let's jump in. And I see a lot of folks chiming in. So trying to stop the feed and click on the comments has been not the easiest. All right. Here we go. This is harder than you think. And especially when you're dealing with a computer that's running about as fast as a Commodore 64. You might remember those. A lot of people just jumping in with other names. I'm seeing the same comments over, so I think I'm having a computer issue. Here we go. Let's just try to put one up. Whatever it is, I'll read it. It's good to make sure the HVAC filter's fresh, too. The system can run at or close to its peak efficiency. That's true. Yeah, that's why we always say both in the hot season or the warm season and the cool season, you have to have the HVAC systems tuned up. So that comes from making sure you got your furnace filter cleaned. It matters, no question. Tiffany's asking a question. What about if your pipes are PVC? Well, that's a good question. Typically, we wouldn't see a whole lot of problems out of PVC, but they too, if they freeze, that water expands. So there's only so much room in the pipes. There's only so much give, and it can still break, I assume, PVC pipes. I'm not a plumber, but I do know how water expands and the output that the pressure of that has. All right, let's see. Oh, I'll come back to you, Brandon. Sorry, click twice. Is Valley Station on more of the south for that snow? Yeah, I mean, again, what we have to know now about the snow is that the best chances for accumulating snows are to our south, and the higher snow totals look to our south. That's what it looks like right now. Does that mean we're not going to get any snow here in Louisville, including Valley Station? No, we're going to get some. It's just that the higher totals look to be south of us. And then Cameron wants to just move on to Friday's system. Say, hey, what about Friday's storm system? What's that looking like? Well, at this point, I haven't focused a ton on it. It does show, all the guidance that we have shows a chance for snow coming in on Friday. So that one will be one that we have to watch as the week goes on. Already, as you've seen over the last several days, how tough these systems can be because each one builds on another or impacts the other. We have to get the first one out of here before we can really wind up seeing what's going to happen in our area. And then here's Brandon. Brandon's saying warmer weather and schools will go on Monday. Well, there's no warmer weather until next week. And the good news is Monday's a holiday with Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So most of the schools are out on Monday. It's Tuesday that we'll have to watch and see. And I do think that there will be some school closings on Tuesday. Will it be this far north? I don't know. Probably more likely to the south. That just goes to reason where we see the heaviest snow. But we always know that it doesn't take much snow for them to call off school anyway, especially in the age of being able to do NTI. So, and then, of course, everybody always wants to talk about the snow and not the cold. We'll wind up tomorrow. Will people's pipes be bursting? We'll see how it works. Nikki's asking about a time frame for the snow tonight. There you go. The Commodore 64 folks are in the room. All right, let's see. I was going to the comment on this thing is impossible tonight. I clearly need to reboot this computer. It's driving me bananas. Why is it better in the south? Well, that's where the moisture feed is. There's going to be the disturbance that pushes across is going to really have more lift to the south. There's greater moisture content to the south. Consequently, we're all under the influence of the cold air. Now it's just a matter of placement, and that's where it looks to be the best at this point. Janice is asking if we think that Friday may be an alert day as well. I think it's possible. We're going to, we can get numb to the alert days, especially when we see a string of them like today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, all for cold and snow. Probably not for a ton of snow, more for the cold. But once we can get a focus on Friday, once we get this Monday past us, we'll be able to determine what Friday looks like. The point of alert days are really just to say, hey, we need to pay attention. And we like to put them out as far as we can, but that comes with a little bit of responsibility too, knowing how much things will change as we go out in time. I'm going to put this up so I can reset the background here. Sometimes that goes blank on me. I clearly don't have oh, I see why now. There we go. All right, back to your comments here. So Nikki was asking about the timing of tonight's snow. Let me just put that up because the radar's important at this point. We can already see it, so we can just time that out. We are going to see some of the snow push in. It moves in probably 9, 10 o'clock. Should start to see some snow fly across the area. And then a better chance as we approach that 11 o'clock to midnight time frame. And then that's when the colder temperatures also will be moving in. So there it is. It's already on the map. So that's what we're watching. I'd say by, what time is it? 8:30. So by 9, parts of our southern Indiana viewing area, a few flurries. And then probably as we get a little closer to that 11 o'clock to midnight time frame, moving closer to us here in Louisville. That's what it seems reasonable for now. All right. Let's see. Going back to some of your comments, if I can wake this thing up. And Julie's asking a question. Well, Kylie was asking, is this for Louisville? All of this is for Louisville and our area surrounding us. So we try to be as precise as we can. And then, well, come on, computer. Seriously. What about Grayson County? Well, again, all you're going to be cold in Grayson County too. We all see the cold moving in. We all see the potential for at least periods of light snow. The snow chances are higher to our south as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's what it looks like. So that was our snow map that we showed earlier. For some reason, the one comment keeps popping up. I apologize for the. I'm gonna bail on trying to show them. Here's Julie. This is one I was going to ask. Yeah, well, the El Nino doesn't mean a warmer than normal January, and all the computer models. The El Nino, and generally, what you have to look at is the weather pattern. This is very much an El Nino weather pattern that we've been in, where we would have waves of the colder air, but in general, we would come out with warmer than average temperatures off the coast. So it's sea surface temperatures that we look at El Nino off the coast in the Pacific. So you have to really understand the weather patterns of the El Nino, and this is very much what an El Nino pattern would look like for us. So this is not abnormal for what El Nino would mean for the Ohio Valley. And we will likely continue to see these pushes of cold air come in with the opportunity to see some snow with them. All right, let's see. Any accumulation tonight, Charlene is asking, and we have the chance to see, I'd say less than an inch, so up to an inch, however you want to look at that. And I'm trying not to show the ones about particular towns because that just gets us down a rabbit hole that we could be on here for the rest of eternity. So, we're talking in general, and we don't know the specifics. So I can't point out what it's going to be like in every area. Okay. At least not yet. Maybe as we get a little closer to Monday, so tomorrow, Monday morning, we'll be able to fine tune that snow forecast for Monday night into Tuesday, or Monday into Tuesday. I'm going to roll through once again the highlights in case some new folks may have jumped on. Tonight, we're watching cold air move in. This cold Arctic air comes with this snow that you see across parts of Illinois and Indiana. It's going to push in here. It will bring us a couple of things. First of all, it's going to bring us minor snow accumulation. The snow pushes through. It's out of here by 4 or 5 in the morning. We could have minor accumulation. It's going to be less than an inch for tonight. So you don't have to expect a whole lot in the way of snow for tonight. But even minor amounts of snow, when we're talking very cold temperatures, could cause some problems on the roads. That's important. The wind advisory, or the wind chill advisory, is in place. Our wind chills, some areas is below by 20 degrees. So 10 to 20 degrees below zero from Louisville north, and anywhere between 5 and 10 below as you work your way from southern Kentucky toward Louisville. So colder to the north, obviously, and we have to worry about the wind chill. When it comes to the snow for the next several days, we are going to see some light snow showers push through. But the greater chance for that accumulation is off to our south. And that's what we've been saying for a few days now. So everybody wants to know how much. I'm going to pop this map up one more time. You can find your area. This is an early guess. Sunday through Tuesday snowfall, not a lot anywhere, but higher to the south. Here in Louisville, maybe around an inch, 2 inches. That's what we're looking at now. Again, it's Saturday. I made this forecast about 3 hours ago. So Saturday at 5 p.m., that's what it looked like. I'm going to have another one of these maps come up at 11 o'clock tonight. Will it look the same? I don't know. I got to see what the data looks like. We're just now starting to get better data. And as we look at that and are able to make that forecast, we'll have our updates. All right. So that's coming our way for 11 o'clock. In general, what we can say is there isn't extremely high confidence with this. We know it's going to be bitterly cold. We know we're going to have a period of below zero wind chills. There will be light snow showers. That's pretty much a guarantee. If we're going to see any heavier snow showers, where will they be? What will those locations look like? And what's that impact look like? That's still the question mark. So let's jump back to some of your comments. I'm trying to see if we can pop them up here. Angie is asking if we can see the future cast for Sunday through Tuesday again. All right, let me show you that. That's going to be this map. I did kind of skip over that. Here it is. So this shows again, this is Monday at midnight. And when we put it into motion, you can see it snows for quite a period of time south of Louisville. But again, this is just one model. So is this one right? Is it 50 miles north? Maybe. Is it 50 miles south? Maybe. We don't know yet. And determining where that sets up, the duration that it will last, the ratio of the liquid to snow content. So are we looking at a 20 to 1 ratio? Maybe. That means it doesn't take much snow at all to see decent snow totals. So there's lots of variables that go into making a snow forecast, and trying to nail it accurately when we're still waiting on this departing system to get out of here makes it even tougher. And then we're already clearing out by early Tuesday, only to see another wave of precip move in on the backside of that. So again, we'll just have to take it run by run of the models. That was the first guess of the snow potential. Don't hold me to it. It could change. In fact, it will change some. But I tell you what hasn't changed is, if you've been watching for the last several days, we've been showing a map similar to that, just saying that the best chance for accumulation was going to be south. We said there was a good chance here, better chance to our south, and the best chance was in the area that had the higher snow totals. That's typically the way you want that to work out. Shonda talking about the 29 degrees in the weather station over in Jeff. Some folks want a lot of snow. April wants to know if the wind is over. Well, the strong winds from yesterday are over, but the 10 to 20 mile per hour gusts are not over for today. And that's going to give us those cold wind chills for the overnight hours tonight. So, yes, it will be breezy, we'll say, not as windy as it was. Some folks want the snow. Some folks are like, yeah, okay, that's good. We don't need a lot of snow. My thing is, I guess if it is going, we hear this all the time around here. If it's going to be cold, it may as well snow. I wouldn't mind like one big blast of snow in here, and then let's just warm it on back up. How about that? All right, we're coming up at 8:30. We've been on for a half hour. I'm going to wind it down here. Appreciate everybody jumping on with us. We've got new data coming in between now and 11 o'clock, so I'll make any adjustments that are necessary for that time. Just wanted to pop on. We have NFL on, so we didn't have our 6 p.m. newscast. So I wanted to jump on and at least make everybody aware of the cold tonight and the bitterly cold wind chills. So if you have to head out for early morning services tomorrow, just make sure you bundle up, protect all of your skin. Doesn't take long to get frostbite with cold temperatures like that, and especially the colder wind chills. And as we look forward to the next few days, we'll keep the alert days out. We'll determine if we're going to flag Friday or not in the next 24 to 36 hours. I won't do it tonight, but once we start to get tonight past us and look for tomorrow, maybe. All of our team has a call tomorrow morning. So we'll be on a call at, I'm just going to pop this up. We'll be on a call at 10 a.m. tomorrow with our weather team, and we'll decide how to go from there. So stay tuned, as we say in the TV business. Hope everybody's able to stay warm, and hope you have a good Saturday evening here. We'll jump back on tomorrow morning, and then again tomorrow evening. You'll catch Tawana on the air tomorrow morning, and Ryan will be freshly back from vacation tomorrow evening. And, of course, Monday's the holiday, and we'll be here, obviously, well, we're here anyway. But obviously, we'll be here if the weather warrants, which means we could have some snow and certainly the cold around for early next week. All right, we'll say goodbye for now. Appreciate you watching. And again, if you are headed out, stay warm. Have a good night, everybody.